They raped this nigga. They raped this nigga. Videotape it. Then when he in the meeting, they give him a shitty contract. They play the video of him getting by like 3 niggas.
You're not paying me and you're not respecting me. And that's the real problem.
All right.
And that's just the beginning.
All right,
then there's people that try to do bodily harm with me. They will be in the house with Puff. So I'm like, it's a funny game y'all playing behind the scenes.
So these artists, they're getting in the ass because that's their ritual. That's their rite of passage to get to the next level.
Mace, one of Diddy's biggest stars in the late 90s under Bad Boy Records, has repeatedly accused Diddy of some extremely shady business practices. Mace said that Diddy set him up to be killed the day Biggie died in LA, but he was saved by Diddy's mother.
Having relations and he couldn't get off. So he was complaining to her one time that, you know, he couldn't get off, and for him to get off, she had to pinch his nipples real hard for him to get off. I mean, yeah, man, this lawsuit is wild, man.
She should have had on white polish, fingernail polish. No, man, we shouldn't be laughing about that, man, you know, because she is a victim. You know what I'm saying? She is a victim, man, and if this is her victim story, we got to be more, I think, more compassionate. She was 17 years old at the time. She was fascinated by that whole thing, getting on a G4, G5 jet, you understand? And what was her parents, man? What was her daddy, her mama? They didn't miss their child? She didn't come home that night? I don't know, man. I can't fathom the whole idea, man. But it's crazy.
When you hear about this stuff, right, like the 17-year-old girl saying that, you know, Diddy, he couldn't get off unless she pinched his nipples real hard, and you got Cassie saying that, you know, he'll make her look up BBCs and he like to masturbate while she get bathed by BBC, you not surprised when you hear about this stuff, right?
Bruh, I knew about the butt plug fetishes because I saw that with my own eyes. I knew about him and Kim being swingers with other people, whether it was another male or another woman or a male and a woman together. I saw that with my own eyes. You got to realize is that after 2005, I didn't see anything that Puff was doing or what he didn't do. Puff had got addicted to opioid. And being addicted to those things bring other drugs on. I seen Puff smoke a cigarette. I never saw him smoke a cigarette. He was on the beach smoking a cigarette on YouTube. Then I seen him, you know, smoking weed and drinking. I was like, that ain't the Puff I know. Drinking like he was and doing all like that. And that ain't the Puff that I knew. You understand what I'm saying? You got to realize he had a certain respect around me because I was his OG from the same game. You understand? And he knew I was law enforcement. He knew I didn't play certain things. So he ain't gonna do what he do around other people in front of me because he know I'm gonna check him on that. But what you trying to do? So to say that what he's being known for with Cassie, I can only equate to some of the things that I seen him and Kim go through. You understand what I'm saying? So people get mad, you know, but it is what it is. I can only equate his actions like that.
Crazy, man. So all this stuff about him having fetishes is true.
Oh, no doubt. Especially if he getting butt plugs in different flavors.
But speaking of butt plugs, right, I remember some years ago, Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with Mace.
Yeah.
And he found the dildo in the sink.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then Mace said that was Puff's. I think he said Mace said that was Puff's, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man. But that shit was real weird to me. That shit was crazy.
Crazy, man. But before we get off of that, right, I remember you told me a while ago that, you know, Mace, he used to live with Diddy, and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
Diddy used to live with a lot of young kids. It's weird, isn't it?
What you mean by Usher, though? People, they don't know about the history between Mace and Diddy. Let the people know how Diddy did him dirty, if you don't mind.
From what I know, I think that Diddy wasn't teaching Mace the business. You understand? He was using Mace as other artists to write rhymes on other people, write songs on other people's albums, on his album, and taking their talents and stealing their publishing on different albums and different records. Prime example, Mace wrote that Bad Boy joint. I ain't even see him at the premiere because I believe Diddy owned most of the publishing on that, which ended up being a big record that went over to movies. I think Mace was upset the fact that when he learned the business, he saw how Diddy had robbed him. He had took the glory for the albums, the music, and all the records that he had did. And he got pennies for it. You understand? 8,000 here, 10,000 there. You understand? When the record go platinum, Diddy's getting 200,000-300,000 and only gave him pennies for writing a song, getting points on publishing that he didn't even deserve. So Mace learning the business and knowing the business, it led him to be upset. Diddy was teaching him wrong. Like Diddy was teaching him not to even speak to people, brother. You understand what I'm saying? Mace used to come up in there, yo, what's up? How you doing? He had that Harlem smile. You know what I mean? Like he happy, he's shining. Cause, you know, he had a lot of jewels that the other artists didn't have. He used to come up in the studios, he used to come places fly. Diddy tell him, yo, you ain't gonna never be famous cause you always speaking to people. Let them speak to you. I seen Mace stop speaking to people. When I told him, man, don't listen to that nigga with that old dumb shit. Be you. But he found out after Big died and Puff left his ass out in California, he knew only Puff was for self. So Mace and them didn't have what these kids have now with the internet, with the YouTubes, to learn the business themselves or listen to somebody teach them the business and stuff to watch out for. It was word of mouth or somebody sitting you down or you hiring a lawyer back then to teach you what you're supposed to know by representing you. So Mace has every right to be upset with Diddy because Diddy really stole his legacy in the music. See, what you gotta understand this is that a lot of those kids learned the business after they signed their contracts. They learned the business after they was in the business for 3 or 4 years. So now, when they learned the business and they was doing, sitting right there writing a whole record, a whole song, right? And Diddy was like, yeah. Here, take this, take that. Give them 10,000 for that one song that they wrote. And that song goes platinum 2 or 3 times. And he get the 25% for being the writer on that because they wrote the song and gave it to him. And he's on as the publisher.
Diddy is a scam artist for real.
As the writer. You understand what I'm saying? He getting a percentage of the writing that was done, and all he gave was 10,000. They learned they learned later in the business that they was do that publishing. He shouldn't have got the percentage that he got on there. Because he gave them 10,000, 5,000, 8,000 for writing. So now they learned the business late. And when they learned the business, they seen how wrong that he was doing them. Even though the music people want you to say, well, we're taking a chance, we're taking a thing. Yo, listen to me, man. You wouldn't be there if you think that you wasn't talented and they could sell records off you and using your talents. They've seen enough people that come through. So you writing all those hits and you not getting the money from them. How many years Mace didn't get the money from Bad Boy, that they used on Will Smith and them Bad Boys? I went to the premiere with Puff. Mace wasn't even there.
You asking you why you didn't, shoot Biggie's killer?
Bruh, me and Mace had conversations before Big got killed. Me and Mace had a conversation after Big got killed. I told Mace the whole story. I helped Mace on 2 occasions in California. When he was trapped off in the club and when he was trapped off in the hotel. You understand me? Mace knew what he was doing. He was trying to divert what really happened because I had made a statement is that why he told Puff what those guys from California told him about wanting to kill Big and wanting to get at Puff over that incident that happened at their video shoot in New York when their Vans and Winnebagos was shot up. Why didn't he tell Big? So he was trying to divert that whole conversation and make it seem like, so Gene, why you didn't shoot? Listen to me. It wasn't because Big wasn't my principal. He knew the fact that we had blew the light and we was halfway down the block, crossed the light, and then when the first shot went off, our driver took straight off. I'm screaming at our driver because he was told that somebody was pointing a gun at Big and them. He should have just threw the car in reverse. He knew the whole story, my man. Prior to him even coming back to New York. Because me and him had a conversation on the phone. He the one told me, well, I was in the room with Brandy and Brandy was trying to get me out the room to come to the party. So I felt that was kind of weird. So she said Brandy was calling me trying to get me out the room to come to the party. Well, you was in the room with Brandy. How's she calling you to try to get you out the room to come to the party? You know what I'm saying? This was going through my mind. But Mace knew the whole situation. Mace knew that it's no way possible that I was able, being sideways in the car, because Puff, when I got in the car, Puff had put his seat back. Now I'm sideways in the car like this, and I'm cussing him out like, yo, man, what the fuck is you doing? Why you got your seat back like this?
It's all on plan. Diddy knows what he's doing. Just thinking how he got away with so much crimes till now is crazy.
We hear the shot. Bow. Puff put his head down. I go to open the door. Kenny flies, going straight. You understand? So he knew the whole story. What I supposed to do? Put my gun out the window and just start shooting? Like this? When the car had already turned the corner? It came out of parking space. So he knew the story, bruh. He was trying to just divert the attention of, well, why security? So ask security. Ask big security. Ask Paul. Ask the LAPD. The LAPD officer that was right there. They was right behind. Paul was outside the car. Why didn't they shoot? Why when we turn back around and come down the street that they way down the block, they coming back when we get back to the car? When we get back to the car, nobody's in Big's car but Big. Mace knew this. Me and Mace had this conversation. Him and Tone is like this. He knew me and Tone jumped in the car and chased after the guy. We couldn't catch him. He wanted to divert the attention from himself because why didn't you tell Big that these dudes was trying to get at you, bruh? You had that conversation with with Puff, but you ain't had that conversation with Big. Big was your label mate. So people come on and talk, why you ain't shoot? Listen to me, bro. At that time, I was young, dumb, and full of cum. Anybody who really knows me know that they ain't got to worry about nothing. If it comes to the point where gunplay has to be a part of my security, I'm not going to hesitate. Because I never bodyguard anybody that I wasn't willing to lay down my life for. And that goes for Puff or anybody else I ever was with. Chaz, K. Slay, Scott Storch, Fat Joe, 50, Nate Dogg, Exhibit. Anybody I decide to take a job and bodyguard for at that time in my life.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was a probation officer. So he operated a little bit different. I was in the street full time, bro. You feel me? Like, I was outside in the field. So like, you know, you would hear Gene say when they got a threat on their life, Diddy told him, I'm not trying to hear that shit, Gene. Because it's your job to be gangster. It's your job to get wild with people. That's what you're getting paid for. So when you see people like that coming out, it's because they know for a fact, like, it's things that's going on they don't agree with, but they not man enough to say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. So a lot of love me because if I see some guys doing something crazy to a female, hold on, boy, not in front of me. So that'll lead me to get like, oh, we ain't gonna hire him no more because he's not gonna allow this. So that's how like I ended up, like whenever Imana called me, I'm immediately coming because like he not on this strange shit y'all on. You know what I'm saying? That's why like if I don't want to say his name, I was telling the contract with him. Let me be careful here. Let me be careful here, man. Let me be careful, cause that stuff about Diddy real, bro.
Well, what do you think about the Meek Mill accusations?
Okay. Now you know I used to bodyguard Rocky Fresh, who was signed to Rose.
Yep.
All right. Now, Meek said he wouldn't do a song with Rocky because Rocky wasn't street. Right. So, little things that take place and people will expect certain things out of him.
Everything about Diddy is real. His weird kinks, the rumors about Usher, all of it.
But now with some of this stuff's coming out, if you look at his body of work, it's been strange things in his history. So then, you go on his Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something you gonna pop out with. No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I say, man, these boys strange, bro. The things they into is strange. I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage.
You think Diddy has footage on Meek?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib. Every millionaire, billionaire I've been around, bro, they got, so I know what's going on. So if I go into the bathroom, I'm gonna cut the lights off, cut the flash on my phone, and look at the mirrors. If it's got that little hollow circle at the bottom, there's cameras in there. It's all, they're gonna be all through the crib. That's why most times I'm gonna chill in the car. Call me, text me if it's getting dangerous. I'm coming in demonstrating, point blank period. This the facts, bro. I've been saying it for years, bro. It's for years. That's why I stopped just going by myself. Because I be having my own money. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't just tell me anything. So I'm like, okay, me and phone, I'm pulling up here. That's all. I'm not going to pay for all your friends. The guys got cheese. We go to the club. We're going to buy our own bottles. We're going to stand right here and make sure don't nothing happen. But when it comes to that camera stuff, people not denying it because they know they was there.
Into that, as it does seem as the days go on to have a high probability of being accurate, or at least some of the stuff being accurate. I'm going to say alleged because in the lawsuit it is alleged that 50 Cent, his ex, who goes by the name of Daphne Joy, who is a model, and I believe they have a kid together, was named as a quote-unquote sex worker for Diddy. That prompted 50 to go after her, and apparently they're like in some kind of custody battle now over their kid. I just wanted to get your thoughts on, 50 always trolled him, but what are your thoughts now that it looks like, according to the lawsuit anyway, they took a shot at his ex?
Yeah. Well, 50, he learned that from 50. Don't y'all remember what 50 did with Rick Ross' wife? And how he trolled Rick Ross? So he got that from Rick, from 50, I think. Or unless she just outright straight up just like being around those type of men, men that, in the music business, or that's successful, or that can buy her a nice purse or whatever. But, because she obviously was getting paid. I'm sure if 50 was just giving her $10,000 for child support, she's doing all right. She can do all right. Or, she just like to have sex. I don't know. But yeah, I think Puffy only gave her that job because he was paying back 50, because 50 been trolling Puff for a while. Y'all know that. Or Diddy. I forgot he changed his name to Diddy. And so I would never go to war with 50 Cent. 50 Cent can call me every name in the book, because that nigga's the ultimate troll. I still laugh when I need a laugh. I go and watch when he posted that online about Floyd Mayweather and the book and the reading and stuff. I've been telling y'all, 50 and Snoop are great Instagram followers. But ooh, that's another person that's probably shitting too, huh? Snoop Dogg. Forgot about Snoopy. But anyway, yeah. It's unfortunate that that 50 had to go through that, but I don't blame Puff. That's how I would get him back too.
The 50 Cent beef with Diddy is total amusement, but there's deeper motives on both sides. Knowing that 50 been around, he ain't bullying Diddy for no reason.
I would have hired her too if I had money like that. And 50 know it. He did it to Rick Ross, who, when he took his wife shopping and did an interview and you know, exposed him about being a cop, which shit, I don't see a problem with that. Don't understand why you youngsters had a problem with that. But okay, I got it. Y'all hate the police. All right. But you should only hate crooked cops. Not, because there's some good cops out there. But hey, that was what I get from it. You know, payback is a mother. Y'all call it karma, we call it payback. And I think that's what's going from that, and that's what happened. I hope it turns out that she was just had a job and it's not true, and people just making the allegations against people. Because I know my girl Capricorn worked over there, and I know she wasn't doing nothing like that with him. So everybody that was employed by him wasn't doing that. That just goes to show you, though, that these people are not going to prison for nobody. Gene Deal told y'all. Didn't y'all hear Gene saying, if they ask, we're telling. And that's pretty much how people think. And that don't have this quote snitching or gang, all you tough guys on the keyboards and all of that. Once you set in that table or that tape, y'all go watch 48 Hours and y'all see what people does. Get diarrhea out the mouth. And that's what's going to happen with Puffy. A lot of people going to get contacted. They're going to be contacting a lot of people. And hopefully some of them was just actually workers. And but hey, 50 been trolling Puffy. And so he was supposed to did that. I would have did that if I had the money to hire somebody and play with their ex-wives. And so, yeah.
The situation also didn't escalate to stomping out or beating up. It was basically an argument that turned into a smack, and then they went upstairs.
So he smacked her in the face?
Yes.
Open hand?
It wasn't closed hand. Yeah, it was open hand.
Okay, how did she react when she got smacked?
Nah, she was very timid, and she worked for Sean John. So being that she worked there, it was but so much she could do. And they was together for quite a while.
Now, this was the first situation that you knew about between Kim Porter and Diddy, but it was not the last.
Right, it wasn't the last.
How many fights did you see, physical fights, did you see between Kim Porter and Puffy?
I seen 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the first one?
That was the first one.
Name me the other 2.
The other 2 was one time when we went to Kim's house and Puff was banging on the door. The rumors were that she was inside with a guy and he was like, yo, we not leaving here until I get in this house. And I was like, yo, it's 12 o'clock at night, Puff, what are we doing? He was like, yo, she's in the house. So about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I looked at him and said, yo, we gonna get locked up sitting outside. Because we was in Toluca Lake.
Yeah.
And he was going around to every window trying to get in and everything else. So the next day when they got together, they went into the room and I heard some tussling and stuff like that. I didn't actually see what was going on, see what was happening. And then it was another time that I explained earlier that we were at the Beverly Hills Hotel. What type of argument they got into, I don't know. But he said, yo, get out the car, Barnes. And I got out the car. And next thing I knew, I seen the car rumbling, shaking, this, that, and the other. So then I opened up the door and said, yo, we in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel. So then Kim got out the car, she fixed her hair, and she said, yeah, like I said, she said, I want to explain. Put your hands on me again, and you're going to have to explain this scratch that I'm about to put on your face. And Kim knew how to Kim got to the point where she wasn't going for it. She wasn't having it. She knew that if she at least fought back, that it was a chance that she could leave a mark on him. And if she left a mark on him, he had a lot of explaining to do of what that mark was about. So by her saying that, it would check him and put him back into his place like, yeah, I can't do that to her. You know?
Now, wasn't there a story that Kim had cut the inside of Puffy's arm, or there's an artery that was bleeding or something like that?
Yeah, that's on the wrist, but that was when Gene was there. That wasn't when I was there. But the rumors and the scar is there, but I never knew what it was from.
So you saw the scar on
Yes.
on his wrist. Okay, but this was a Gene Deal story.
Yes.
Got it. And I guess Kim stayed because she knew, eventually, once she had 3, technically 4 kids with Puffy, because the first son was technically adopted by Puff. And if she ever decided to leave, it's like, what, $30,000 a month? She would just basically be making a bunch of money anyways. So she wasn't really tripping, or?
It was, I'm going to tell you a story. It was a time, I used to carry all the money, right? In the Louis Vuitton bag. That was Puff's personal bag, and I would carry it all the time. And it was one time that we was in the LA house, and I guess Puff pulled out the money without remembering that he left condoms inside the bag.
Huh? That's the weirdest sentence I've heard in a long time.
So when he's showing his money, I guess the condoms came out. And the next thing I heard was, Bonds, pick up the phone. So I pick up the PA system. Yo, come to my room. And he said, yo, would you tell Kim that you carry the bag and you carry the money all the time? I said, yeah. So would you tell Kim this is your condoms inside of it? I said, damn, Puff, I left the condoms in the bag. My fault. I said, I'm sorry, Kim. And she just looked at me with a funny look. You know what I'm saying? And then I went out, I walked out the room, and Kim came about 5 minutes later. And she said, Bonds, both of you motherfuckers gonna go to hell. I said, what you talking about, Kim? So she said, both of y'all gonna go to hell. She said, I know that ain't your motherfucking condoms in that bag. And she distinctly said to me, she said, I go for this shit because I will allow it. She said, remember, I got 4 of them. Mm-hmm. And then about 3 minutes later, Puff seen that she was talking to me. He said, yo, what she say? I said, she said she go for this shit because whenever she get tired of it, she wants you to know she got 4 of them. I said, what she mean by that? He said, yeah, she damn sure do got 4. And then that's when I officially knew that Puff had adopted Quincy, because I counted on my fingers. I said, the twins, Christian, I said, oh, he must got legal custody of Quincy. Mm-hmm. So that's what she meant. She had 4 of them.
That situation happened on the boat. And that same year, Cassie met Diddy.
Yeah.
And she was 19, he was 37. She had just independently dropped the song Me and You with Ryan Leslie. And the song was, I believe, it first kind of picked up in Germany and then started to get a little bit of buzz. And by that next year, 2006, Cassie ends up signing a 10-album deal with Bad Boy.
Right.
10 albums. When you kind of say it out loud, it's kind of crazy.
That's phenomenal. That's crazy.
So Cassie signs a 10-album deal with Bad Boy. She releases her debut album. Me and You was the hit song on there. It debuted number 4 on Billboard.
Right.
And that was, although Cassie had some other songs here and there, that was her big hit song. At this time, Diddy and Cassie weren't dating yet.
Right.
But Cassie was an artist on his label along with a bunch of other artists. So then that next year in 2007, Kim Porter was pregnant with Diddy's twin daughters. And then Diddy had a daughter with Sarah Chapman.
Yes.
Who was actually Tupac's ex.
Right.
The Tupac and Diddy connection is really runs so deep, it's a little crazy. Mm-hmm. And I guess once Kim found out about the other kid, she broke up with Diddy officially.
Yeah, Kim was upset because Sarah Chapman was also one of her best friends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Sarah Chapman was also one of her best friends also. So she was really upset about that. And she said that she drew the line. So Sarah Chapman, child, because I actually guarded the twins when they were in the hospital in Mount Sinai when Kim had the baby.
Oh.
My duty was to sit there to make sure the nurses didn't take pictures and different things like that. And Sarah, they might be so close as maybe a month and a half as far as birthdays is concerned.
Okay.
And she got pregnant right after Sarah Chapman.
Okay, and she flipped out when she found out that Diddy had another baby on the way.
She flipped completely out. Like, the kids wasn't even allowed to see each other.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until years later, I'm gonna say maybe, I want to say maybe like 4 years later, where she allowed the child to come over with the other kids and stuff. Because at first she wasn't having it.
Were you around Sarah Chapman though?
Yes, I know Sarah.
Okay.
I wasn't around her. I didn't really get around Sarah until she had the baby.
Okay.
And once she had the baby, they went to arbitration court. Me and Puff flew out there, and he went into a tantrum. And Sarah is a very quiet, timid, around the way girl. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't after Puff for the money or anything like that. And that was what really seemed that he liked. And he told me one day, he said, you know, Sarah, it's okay because I give her like $5,000 a month and she happy. So it wasn't about what he felt she deserved. It was about like, oh, I could just lowball her and she's okay with it.
Was there any drama between him and Sarah?
Diddy wasn't like that before. He only started being violent with Kim, then Cassie.
Just the only time that I seen the drama was when they had the arbitration.
Okay. So, Diddy has like 3 kids in the same year from 2 different women.
Mm-hmm.
And right around that time, according to Cassie and her lawsuit, that's when Diddy started to really press up on Cassie.
Right. He started pressing up on her. Her first visit to the house, we was all in Miami. She came with Ryan Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
So when she came with Ryan Leslie, this was all business. And it was when she was there for 2 weeks with Ryan Leslie that Diddy started looking at her like, oh, wow. So I knew right from there that it was going to be a problem because he told Slam, Slam was his producer, who brought Cassie into play. Yo, you got to meet this girl. She's such and such and such. She's Ryan, da-da-da. So when he came, he said, okay, next time, have Cassie come by herself. So when I seen Cassie 2 weeks later by herself, I said, oh God, why did he allow this to happen? Like, I would never allow my girl to come out the Diddy house by herself. And that was all she wrote.
Right, because in the lawsuit, it said, that year, Diddy picked up Cassie from her apartment in Manhattan in a blue luxury vehicle. Cassie was surprised when she got into the car because Diddy was already high. He handed her a pill and told her to take it. When Cassie asked what the pill was, he dismissed her and said that she would like it. She later learned that it was ecstasy, something she had never tried before. And that was the first time that Cassie claims that Diddy got her high.
Okay.
And you said that everyone took ecstasy in that crew.
Right.
That was a regular occurrence.
Right.
Okay. Later that year, right around fall, Cassie claims that Diddy paid a promoter to create a fake flyer for a party that Cassie was supposed to be hosting. And that basically allowed him to make an excuse for Cassie to fly out to Miami without Ryan Leslie.
Okay.
During that trip, Cassie claims that Diddy gave her tons of drugs, kept her high throughout the whole weekend, and that was the first time that they actually had sex.
Okay.
Do you remember that weekend? Were you around?
Yes, I was around.
Okay. Do you know about the fake flyer?
I don't know about the fake flyer, but I do remember when she came back and they went out to the club a couple of times, and it was a couple of times when they would stay in the studio to 4 or 5 in the morning. I wouldn't be allowed to go to bed until they left the studio. And, being nosy, we all would just stay around and kind of watch and say, yo, how long do you think it's going to be? How long do you think it's going to take before he break the safe? That's that type of conversation. And then we all realized when she didn't stay in her room one night that we said, okay, this is it.
Right, and the two of them started to become serious. Right. He bought her a car. He got her an apartment in Manhattan that was walking distance to his apartment. And she said that when he first showed her the apartment, her parents were there.
Right.
And, you know, they're a little skeptical, but they're proud that their daughter is doing well and she has this nice place and, you know, she has this, you know, this rich boyfriend, and, you know, she's doing well financially and pursuing her career. You were around her parents at all?
Yes.
What was their overall vibe with the situation?
I would say that at first, like you said, they was kind of skeptical. They never really accepted the situation, but they wanted their daughter to be happy. So the father was very quiet. The mother would be around a little bit more. Her brother would be around. And at the beginning of the relationship, it was like a watchful thing. But, you know, Puff has a way of sending them on trips and doing everything else for the family to ease it. So everybody accepted it after, I would say, around a year or two. It was just a regular occurrence.
Okay. And she claimed that Diddy lavished her with designer clothes, jewelry, everything else like that.
Yeah, she didn't want for nothing.
Yeah.
But he did everything. Wasn't nothing allowed to be in her name.
Oh.
Her show money, nothing. Everything was funneled through him.
And he was managing her as well, right?
Yeah, he was doing everything. It was a one-stop shop.
Got it.
If you wanted to book her, because I was booking Diddy at that time for a lot of parties, so people would also come to me for Cassie. So I would have to go to him. And it seemed like $10,000 would be enough for somebody who just only has one single. But he would turn down a lot of the parties, and I started to begin to think he didn't want her to be successful. Because he would be like, no, that's enough, go get 25. I'm like, go get 25, I can't get 25 for her. And I think she started to catch on to those type of things.
2009, she shaves the side of her head. You were there when it happened.
Yes.
Describe that whole situation.
We'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe.